There are 5 everyday foods sitting in your kitchen right now that could send your dog to the emergency vet, and most pet parents hand at least one of them over as a treat, with love, without ever knowing. What if I told you some of the healthy snacks you share off your own plate are the dangerous ones? Let me guess, you think you already know this list. As a veterinarian, I promise you at least 2 of these will surprise you. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Mei Chen, your neighborhood vet, and before we go one step further, drop the guilt at the door. Nobody taught us this. Most of us grew up slipping the dog a bite under the table, and our parents did the same, and the dog was fine. So grab a notebook, because the 5 minutes you spend here could genuinely save your best friend's life. But first, I need you to understand one thing, because it changes everything. With toxic foods, it isn't really the food that decides what happens. It's the dose, and it's the size of your dog. The same grape that a 100-pound Labrador might shrug off can be a true emergency for a 6-pound Chihuahua. So as we go, don't just hear bad food. Hear how much and how big is my dog. That's the lens that keeps you calm and keeps them safe. And there's one more piece of that lens. A toxic dose isn't only about a single feast, it's also about what builds up. A nibble of something dangerous every single day is its own kind of risk, separate from one big accidental mouthful. We'll come back to that, because it matters more for some of these than others. Keep both in mind. The one-time gulp and the slow daily drip. Quick, honest note before the list, and please don't skip it. I'm a veterinarian sharing general information to help you care for your pet. But I'm not your pet's vet. And this is not a diagnosis. Every animal is different. Because today is all about things your dog might eat, here's the one line I want you to write at the top of that notebook. If your dog has eaten something on this list, or you even suspect it, call your own vet or a pet poison helpline. Right now, do not wait for symptoms. Do not wait for me to finish. The early phone call is the whole game. Okay, let's protect them. Number 1, xylitol. This is the one I beg every pet parent to learn because it hides where you'd never look. Xylitol is a sugar-free sweetener. You'll find it in sugar-free gum, in mints, in some breath products, in certain skinny baked goods, and here's the trap, in some brands of peanut butter. Peanut butter. The thing we smear inside the hollow toy, the thing we hide the pill in. Now in a person, xylitol is harmless, but a dog's body reads it completely wrong. It sees that sweetener and slams out a flood of insulin, and that insulin crashes their blood sugar through the floor, sometimes within 15 to 30 minutes. That's hypoglycemia, and in larger amounts, xylitol can also cause liver failure. The frightening part is how little it takes. We're not talking about a whole jar. A few pieces of sugar-free gum can be a medical emergency for a small dog. The early signs come: fast weakness, wobbliness, stumbling like they're drunk, suddenly quiet, then vomiting, then in serious cases, a collapse or a seizure. So here's what you do, and write this down. Before you ever buy peanut butter for your dog, turn the jar over and read the label. If you see the word xylitol, or sometimes birch sugar, it goes back on the shelf. And if your dog has already gotten into gum or sweetener, this is not a watch and see situation. Call your vet or the poison helpline immediately. Minutes matter with this one more than almost anything else on the list. And I want to flag where it ambushes the most careful owners: the dog training peanut butter spread inside a hollow toy. We use it to keep a dog busy, to give a pill, to make a bath bearable. So that one jar deserves a second look more than anything in your pantry. Pick a brand you've checked, keep it as your dog's jar, and you never have to think about it again. Number 2, grapes and raisins. And this is the one that still humbles those of us who've been doing this a long time because we honestly do not fully understand it yet. Grapes, raisins, currants, even the grape in a stray piece of trail mix, they can cause sudden kidney failure in dogs. The maddening part, the part I need you to really sit with, is that it is unpredictable. There is no known safe amount. One dog will eat a whole bowl and walk away fine, and another dog the same size will eat a few grapes and end up in a fight for their kidneys. We can't tell you in advance which dog yours is. So we treat every grape and every raisin as a don't. Be especially careful with the sneaky sources: raisins in a cookie, raisins in your morning oatmeal, the trail mix on the coffee table, the box of raisins a grandchild dropped on the floor. The early signs are vomiting, often within a few hours, then a tired, off dog who goes quiet, stops eating, and may drink and pee more, or worse, suddenly stops peeing. If your dog eats grapes or raisins, you call your vet or the helpline. Because it's unpredictable and there's no safe dose, this is a genuine emergency where early treatment matters enormously. I won't sugarcoat that. I'd rather you make a phone call you didn't strictly need than miss the one that mattered. And one more practical word, because grapes hide in plain sight more than any food on this list. It's almost never the bunch of grapes on the counter that gets a dog, it's the dried form. Raisins are concentrated, they're small, and they're everywhere. The oatmeal raisin cookie, the breakfast granola, the little snack box, the bran muffin, the bagel. A dog can hoover up a dropped handful before you've turned around. So when you think grape danger, picture the raisin box, not just the fruit bowl. That mental switch alone prevents a lot of frightening nights. Now take a breath, because number 3 is the one most people get wrong, and I want to get it exactly right for you. Number 3, onion and garlic. And here is where I'm going to be completely honest with you, because this family, onions, garlic, leeks, chives, shallots, is where so much fear and so much bad information collide online. Here's the real science. These plants contain compounds that can damage a dog's red blood cells, and in enough quantity that leads to a kind of anemia. That part is true, and it matters. But, and this is the honesty beat I owe you, it is genuinely dose dependent. A single tiny crumb of garlic bread or a lick of gravy that had some onion powder in it is very unlikely to harm a healthy medium or large dog. I am not going to stand here and tell you your dog is dying because one stray morsel touched their tongue. That kind of fear stacking is exactly what exhausts good pet parents, and it's why some folks stop trusting the advice altogether. So let me give you the real picture. The danger is real, and it climbs with amount and concentration. Onion is generally more potent than garlic by weight. Concentrated and powdered forms, onion powder, garlic powder, dehydrated onion are far stronger than the fresh vegetable, which is why a dog who gets into a bag of seasoned chips or a pot of soup is the one I worry about, not the dog who licked a plate. And it adds up over time, so daily, just a little garlic in the bowl is a habit I'd retire. Some breeds, certain Japanese breeds like the Akita and Shiba Inu among them, are more sensitive than others. The signs of trouble show up over a day or several days, not instantly a dog who gets weak, tired, off their food, with pale gums, and sometimes urine that turns a darker, tea-colored shade. So the honest rule isn't panic over a crumb. It's don't make these foods a part of your dog's diet, keep the concentrated powders well away, and if your dog gets into a real amount, a whole onion, a pile of garlic, a seasoned dish, call your vet. Precise beats panicked, always. Let me hand you something here that isn't in any textbook. The old country vet I trained under Dr. Halloran treated every animal that came through his door like family, not like an invoice. And he used to tell me, May, the owners don't need to be scared. They need to be sure. He kept a little card taped inside his kitchen cabinet, at home, with the dangerous foods, and the poison helpline number written on it. Not in a binder, not on his phone taped where he reached for the dog treats, because in a real scare, you don't want to be searching. You want to look up and see the number. I've kept that habit my whole career. I'd love for you to start it tonight. Number 4, chocolate. The famous one, and famous for good reason. The trouble in chocolate is a compound called theobromine and a little caffeine alongside it. Dogs metabolize theobromine very slowly, so it builds up and overstimulates the heart and the nervous system. Here's the rule that actually keeps your dog safe, because chocolate is bad, is too blunt to be useful. 2 things: decide the danger, how dark the chocolate is, and how much your dog weighs. The darker and more bitter, the more theobromine, gram for gram. So, baking chocolate and high-percentage dark chocolate and cocoa powder are the real villains. Milk chocolate is less concentrated, and white chocolate has almost none, though I'd still keep it away. And it's all relative to body weight. A square of dark chocolate that a big dog might tolerate can be a serious dose for a little one. The early signs are restlessness and hyperactivity, then vomiting, diarrhea, a racing heart, panting, and in serious cases, tremors. So know where your chocolate lives: the kid's Halloween bag, the baking cabinet, the box of fancy truffles, the cocoa powder. If your dog gets into it, don't guess. Tell your vet or the helpline what kind, roughly how much, and what your dog weighs. That's exactly the information they need to tell you, whether it's a watch at home or a come in now. And here's a small thing that pays off in a panic. If you can, grab the wrapper or the bag your dog got into. It tells the helpline the cocoa percentage, the exact product, the weight of what's missing. In a scary moment, that little square of cardboard does half the math for you. Number 5, macadamia nuts. This one surprises almost everyone, and it's why I promised you a couple you didn't see coming. Macadamia nuts, just macadamias specifically, can make dogs sick in a strange and distinctive way. We don't fully know the mechanism, but the picture is consistent. Within about 12 hours of eating them, dogs can develop weakness, especially in the back legs, a wobbly, drunken walk, tremors, vomiting, and sometimes a fever. It's alarming to watch owners often think their dog has had a stroke or hurt their spine. The good news, and I want to give you the calm here too, is that it's rarely fatal and most dogs recover fully with supportive care. But it's miserable for them and frightening for you, and it still warrants that phone call. Watch the obvious sources: a bowl of mixed nuts on the counter, macadamia cookies, that fancy white chocolate and macadamia treat, which, you'll notice, doubles up 2 things on today's list. If your dog eats macadamias and starts going weak or wobbly, you know the drill by now. Call. And let me say this plainly, because I think it's where a lot of pet parents quietly relax their guard. Just a few nuts is exactly the amount that causes trouble with this one. It doesn't take a handful. So the safest move is the simplest move. Macadamias live up high, behind a door, the same place you'd keep anything you wouldn't want a curious nose to find. Now, let me say the honest thing I most want you to carry out of here, because it's worth more than the whole list. If your dog eats something and you're not sure, the phone call beats every home remedy on the internet. I see it all the time. Someone reads online to make the dog throw up with salt or with hydrogen peroxide, and they do it at the wrong time, with the wrong substance, and they turn a scare into a second emergency. Some poisons do more damage coming back up. Some dogs shouldn't be made to vomit at all. The person on the other end of that helpline does this all day. Let them tell you whether to induce vomiting, whether to come in, or whether you can safely watch at home. Don't let a stranger's blog post make that call. Let a professional make it. That's not me being cautious for caution's sake. That's the difference between a long night and a lost friend. And here's the soft truth underneath all of this. The reason these foods feel so confusing isn't you, it's the noise. The internet is full of confident voices. One says garlic is a miracle, the next says a single grape is instant death, and they can't both be right. And the volume just leaves good pet parents anxious and second-guessing every treat. I don't want you afraid of your own kitchen. I want you sure. So let's make it simple. Xylitol, read the peanut butter label. Grapes and raisins, none. No safe amount. Mind the trail mix and the oatmeal. Onion and garlic not part of the diet. Keep the powders far away. Don't panic over a crumb. Chocolate darker and smaller dog means more danger. Macadamia nuts, just keep them up high. And tape that helpline number inside the cabinet, like Dr. Halloran did, for your specific dog, with their specific history. Your own vet is always the final word. But now you walk into your kitchen knowing exactly what to watch for. Next time, I'm going to show you the opposite side of this, the cheap, genuinely good foods you can add to your dog's bowl that support them from the inside out. The ones I wish every pet parent knew. It's the natural next step after today. Remember, you don't have to be the perfect pet parent. You just have to care enough to learn. And the fact that you stayed to the end of a video like this tells me you do. Give your best friend a scratch behind the ears for me. Because the best medicine was never the most expensive. It's the love you already give them every single day. I'm Dr. Mei Chen. I'll see you next time.